Oh, good morning. Well, when Susan asked me to speak, and she said that the subject for the month, the theme for the month, was changing gracefully, I was kind of like revved up. I'm like, what the heck? What does that mean? But I had such a good time researching, and I do morning daily pages, and things were just coming up for me. And on Friday, I thought of a song that I had written years ago, like 20 years ago. And so I went to my box of old tunes, and I was looking for the music, and I found, and this is honest to God truth, I found a story I had written 20 years ago called Grace Under Pressure. And that's what the name I chose for my talk to be. And I was like, what? I started writing this like 20 years ago. Susan, how did you know? So I'm going to read you that story. And it's just a short little snippet. I just used to every so often write stuff down that was going on in my head. So it's called Grace Under Pressure. It was her turn. As she stepped up to the counter, she realized she had a choice to make. And this made her very nervous. And she had told herself she wasn't very good at making choices, and a trait she inherited from her mother. And the gentleman behind the counter had greeted her with a warm smile and hello, but was now growing impatient with her. He kept showing her this, showing her that, but she wasn't about to be talked into something she knew she didn't want. And she seemed to be able to grasp what she didn't want really well. And she could hear the people behind her in line shifting their weight. And in her head, she's like, sounds like cattle ready for slaughter. And she put herself to sleep a long time ago. She lay sleeping with the lights off and the door shut. And when she finally looked up with a child's eye wonder, she smiled and politely said, goodbye. And as she walked out the door, she mumbled something about not being in the right line or the right store, and that she did not care for sausage today. She would have dessert instead. And that's 20 years ago. Choices. And so, a true story. And then last week, as I was driving home on Stony, I got behind this big truck, and the mud flaps, honest to God, they said grace in capital letters on each side. I was like, oh my goodness. So, synchronicity. What can I say? So, grace under pressure. Ernest Hemingway has a quote, and he says, courage is grace under pressure. And today I'd like to share with you my take on changing gracefully. I'll come from I, because all I really have and know is my experience. And so whatever the world is presenting to me to grow and stretch and learn from, and when the roar of my fears call to me, when the pressure of life has me feeling pinned down, I get to remember kindness and humility and a deep sense of gratefulness. I get to remember. Grace is a gift, freely given. And I can rest in it knowing that no matter what, I'm cared for and I'm looked after. And so I also heard grace being defined as courteous goodwill. And so practicing courteous goodwill can be tough under pressure. I don't know about you, but it's not always where I go, especially when I'm driving. So grace is also a form of elegance and dignity, and when I find myself under pressure, grace isn't always the first thing that I feel myself experiencing. Anyone else? Yeah. Even though grace is always here. So grace under pressure, the power to change. So the world today, and this is my experience of the world today, is the expectation is a lot of doing, a lot of busy. And the doing tends to take on a more important role than the precedent of being. And that doesn't mean that taking action, I can't sit in my living room and go home all day and expect things to happen, although maybe they could, maybe. But, the Bible tells us faith without works is dead. So, the component to life, and I can focus on how I'm being in the doing, and in the doing, that is how I know it's time to go within and give myself grace and receive grace. And how do I know what grace feels like? I do know that there's nothing I can or can't do to get more grace or less grace. It's always here. And it's always here because, and this came to me this week in my morning pages, because I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. And having that belief, the beat of my heart in the rhythm of me gets to beat that drum. I am enough. I am enough. Gets to beat that drum. And when I freely have the belief that I am enough, I have all the grace there is. I am the grace. I have all the love and the joy and the peace and the abundance because I am grace in action. So if this is truly my truth, and I know that I know, I am enough. I was on a ferry ride once, going from Vancouver to Vancouver Island, and I was sitting, it was a beautiful day, sitting on the deck on top of the ferry, and there's a little girl and her mom. They were having a conversation, and this little girl, the mom says to her, well, how do you know? And she must have been 5 or 6 years old, and she said, I know it. I really, 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 really know it. And I was like, wow. And it's always stuck with me. It's like, when I know something, I want to know it like that. I want to have that innocence behind it and that confidence that I really, really, really know it. And so, even really, really, really knowing it, sometimes, why the heck do I get to experience the space of not feeling grace? And there must be a reason. And when I'm not feeling that godly connection to godly power in my life, and I got so excited. My morning daily pages, I just love them. It's like I got really excited, and it was like, there's a really great reason. An exciting reason, and it's because I'm getting ready to experience grace under pressure. I get to practice the mastery of grace, to know that grace is always here. I have the choice to step into grace, and it's the beat of my heart, the air that I breathe, and it's the rhythm of me. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Can I smell it? Can I know it? Can I taste it? Can I touch it? And when negative thoughts sneak into the cracks or under all the doing of telling myself in any given moment anything other than I am enough, what slips into my day? Thinking that I know better than God what my true nature is. And if I'm coming from a place of holding grace under pressure, holding and seeing myself in a way that separates me from God, that for me is a great opportunity. It's like ding, 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 ding. You feel that pressure. Ding, 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 ding. Whoop. And so our unity for prayer for protection says, the light of God surrounds me, the love of God enfolds me, the power of God protects me, and the presence of God watches over me wherever I am. God is, I am the light, I am the love, I am the power, I am the presence. And if I really, 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 really know it and believe it, I get to allow myself just to be in a state of grace. And my prayer of grace to myself is to see myself as God sees me, whole, healthy, loved, abundant, peaceful, joyful, much like Merle Fillmore. The ladies were talking about it last week. And to feel myself anything different than God sees me, that's the disconnect, the separation, the dis-ease. And I know in those moments that my soul is not being honored. So grace is allowing myself the space to mess it up because I will. I'm human. That's the theme. And then the space to create something different, allowing me to realize that the mess is simply failing forward. It's the fertilizer for growth. The pressure that creates diamonds, and it's okay. It's like, oops, I messed up. Look at that. I just fertilized my life. Looky here, another opportunity for changing gracefully. So changing gracefully, well, that's me. Falling and getting back up. And falling and getting back up. And falling and getting back up. Holding me in love in all circumstances. There's a samurai saying that says, fall down 7 times and get up 8. You know, it's even the roses, the seeds, they get to be under pressure. They're not always just this beautiful rose. The seed gets to crack under the heat in the soil and blossom. So, anything that's held under pressure for too long will explode. Anyone cook with a pressure cooker here? Anyone had the experience of it exploding on them? Oh, cleaning beans off the kitchen cupboards. Even squeezing orange juice, or orange, you get orange juice. So what happens when I get squeezed? What am I choosing inside? Well, sweet grace juice. Sweet grace juice comes out. Not sour grape juice, sweet grace juice. And that's what I'm choosing inside. And inside, my deepest desire is to be enough. And if that's the case, well, the good news is, I am enough. And you're enough. And we all are enough. And with all the negative talk, the holding back, the fear, the pressure, the good news is, I get to create where my come from is, my why, my beingness in any given moment. Do I always hit the mark? Nah. No, not always. And that's where I get to choose grace. The courage to say, I got this, to give myself the gift of changing gracefully. And what is changing gracefully? Grace is, for me, I think of it as a beingness. It's a knowing that I know that I really know I am enough. And with all the pressure I get to choose in any given moment, I am enough. And whatever opportunities I get to attract into this life, I am enough. And knowing that I am enough is changing gracefully. Knowing I am blessed and highly favored and standing in the truth of me. I like to watch YouTube. Over COVID, I was on YouTube a lot. And I was listening. Anyone know who Steve Harvey is? Comedian? No. What show did he do? Family Feud. Is that right? Yeah. So I heard him tell this story, and I'm going to paraphrase it. And he talked about the brain being divided into 2 halves. Positive half and a negative half. And it doesn't function on anything else, positive, negative, positive, negative. And each half of the brain has millions of factory workers. So you got 1 million factory workers on the negative side and 1 million factory workers on the positive side. And at the front of these 1 million factory workers is a foreman. Okay, foreman positive, foreman negative. And the good news is, I'm the boss. You're the boss. And this is how it works. It kind of works like this. If I have a TV remote control and I point it to the TV and I press the on button, what do I expect to happen? The TV comes on. Yeah, the TV's on. Oh, and I watch a channel, I don't know, HBO. And so, I'll say HBO is 300. So I press 300 and select And what happens? HBO comes on, yeah? So, follow me. So, there's this concept in the Bible, and God said, a man is as he thinketh. A man is as he thinketh. Okay, so I got two halves of my brain. This is how it goes. I wake up in the morning, and I say, I don't feel myself today. I got up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm not a morning person. And Foreman Negative goes, what? What'd you say? And it's like, I got up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm not feeling myself today. And I'm not a morning person. And he turns around to the million factory workers and he goes, all right, the boss says she's not having a good day today. Let's get to it. And so those millions of factory workers start telling things going on. Not a morning person, having a bad day. And let's get to work. And so they start producing thoughts that justify what I just said. So what happens to my day? Yeah? It's like, I hate it, the alarm clock went off. I gotta drive to work in traffic. I hate my car. Blah, 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 blah. And it goes on and on and on. And my day starts tumbling into what I ordered at the top of the day. So, coming from a place of grace, what would that look like? Well, okay, I press the positive button. My choice, I'm the boss. So today is going to be a great day. I expect something really good to happen. And man, thank you, God. I woke up this morning. I love my life. And the positive Foreman says, what did you say? Today's going to be a great day. Something really great's going to happen. I love my life. And he says, hey, turns around. This is how Steve Harvey says it. Hey! And the millions of factory workers, because the positive Foreman turns around and says, she's expecting something wonderful to happen today. And so the same brain, I can't wait to get to work. Might not be the job that I want, but at least it's a job. I'm so grateful I got a car. I get to drive to work today. At least I get a check. And thank God for the roof over my head. I appreciate the fact. Even if I don't have a car, I can walk to the train station. And that's how our minds work 24/7, never turns off. So I get to give myself, changing gracefully, the way I think is the whole determining factor into where I go in my life. So where I am today is because I thought myself to this position. And if I don't like the position, I get to think myself out of it. So I grant myself the grace to move on, have the courage to be free, and as Rev Doug often quotes, change your attitude, change your altitude. And it all lines up with unity principle number 3. I create my experience by what I choose to think and what I feel and believe. And so do I possess the courage to wake up every morning, even when my world feels like it's falling apart, in front of my very eyes, and decide to make a choice to let my heart have its way and be graceful and be kind and be compassionate. And as I practice the mastery of choosing gracefully, I have what it takes to extend that grace to my spouse, to my family, my friends, my community, and on and on. And it's a ripple effect that goes out to the vast universe. And in all that, I am enough. So there is courage in the moment of what I'm telling myself. No middle ground. I'm either enough or I'm not enough. Can't hold two different thoughts in my head. The thought that has the most emotional intensity will win every time. Team on the football field that has the greatest intention to win, with the greatest emotional connection to win, will win. So yippee-ki-yay. Courage is grace under pressure. So why would I not give myself the grace to emotionally charge the thought that's going to serve me and my greatest good? So I get to be grace, to remember who and whose I am, because I'm a child of God, created in the image of God. I get to awaken in me the grace that is and always has been a part of me, the grace that I was born into. Changing gracefully. Allowing myself the space to mess up, because I will, and the space to create something different. Allowing myself to realize that the messy parts is the fertilizer. It's the gold for growth. And so for me, that creates the courage to choose grace, where I can simply say to myself, oops, look at that. What did I just do all over? And that do-do is ignited in grace and voila, a beautiful realization, sublime discovery where my life grows out of. Changing gracefully is a process. It's a practice, practicing the mastery of changing gracefully while grace is under pressure. And while the world is coming at me and I'm wrestling in the mud, I can stop, take a breath, and smile, and tell myself, I am enough. I am grace because I know that I know. I really, really, really know it. And that I know that my God is taking care of me. Everything is going according to plan. Things are working out beautifully and will continue to do so with ease. Because according to grace, there's nothing I can do or can't do. Because in my enoughness, I am changing gracefully. We're going to go into meditation. And guess what song we're going to start our meditation? Any guesses? Yeah. Go ahead, say it.
I am enough.
Okay.
Sorry, Viviane, I was typing. I think I got 6 songs.
Yay! Do I get like writing credit?
Maybe.
Idea credits.
Yeah, idea credits. There you go. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Just as I am. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Just as I am. There is nothing that I need to say. There is nothing that I need to change. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Just as I am. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Just as I am. There is nothing that I need to do. There is nothing that I need to prove. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Just as I am. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Just as I
I am enough. Take a deep breath. Feel take a long, slow, deep breath. Imagine a gentle, luminous light glowing within you. And as the oxygen reaches every last cell, from the top of your head to the tip of your toes, imagine this glow of light begin to travel through the soles of your feet, relaxing your calves and knees and thighs and lower back and abdomen and back, and moving slowly and gently up, reaching your belly, your chest, mid and upper back, and softening your shoulders, flowing down your arms, reaching your fingertips up, back through your neck, sending soothing sensations through your scalp, relaxing the tiny muscles in your face and loosening your jaw. And only a profound sense of peace remains. A soft grin on your lips. And take a deep breath and feel. And savor the silence. Pause and breathe and feel and delight in the inner silence. And notice there is nothing you had to do to receive to be worthy of this breath of life and peace and grace. And feel the grace that encompasses the universe. Grace, a weightless state of beingness we encounter when we remember we are divine. We are a divine expression of life worthy. Grace, a profound, eternal peace we can trust when we're grounded. Grace is how we cradle and rock ourselves as we would our inner child. Gentle love. Grace is the song of our soul when we remember that life is a dance in beauty, grace, nothing to do, just be. You belong to grace. And I invite you back into the room, just moving your fingers. Feel yourself in the chair. And you have arrived back to yourself, to your inner being. Take one more deep breath. And experience delight in the inner stillness of I am enough. I am enough.
I am enough. I am enough. I am enough.
continue on with a song that I wrote many, many, many years ago. And it's loosely based on Psalm 139 in the Bible. And it's called Everlasting Love. I love it. You can't plagiarize the Bible because there's no copyright on it. So you can take whatever you want and create a song from it. Yeah, it's going to start us off.
1, 2.
Thank you. My heart is filled.